This is a disgrace to the NHLs. The Department of Player Safety fails the players once again there when it comes to Oilers in Knights, dueling it out there on the ice. All that more today on Oilers Digest. As you can see there in the intro there, Trent Frederick holding a bloody nose, and Nicholas Waugh just a slap on the wrist is all it was. But 78% of you have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're loving these videos, make sure you hit that button down below for any and all Oiler content there. You already saw the previous video there with Stuart Skinner, and we'll get into that in just a bit. But first, without further ado here, the Department of Player Safety, we all saw in overtime there, Nicholas Waugh and Trent Frederick dueling it out on the boards there, and Nicholas Waugh delivering a lumberjack cross-check to the face of Trent Frederick there. There were multiple, excuses for Nicholas Waugh, saying, okay, he's trying to aim for the chest, but the face is not the chest last time I checked there, and he had a hearing last night with the Department of Player Safety. Normally a hearing means, okay, suspension. It's going to be a suspension there, but nope. He's been fined a little under $8,000 there, the maximum allowable under the CBA for cross-checking Edmonton's Trent Frederick there. So the Vegas Golden Boys getting off yet again with another punishment in quotations there. And from scouting the refs, they're like, not even one game, and it crosses all the check marks here when it comes to a suspendable offense. A, not a hockey play. B, intent to injure. And C, a dangerous play there from Elliot Friedman. Even he was surprised, says it's rare, hasn't happened this year, but has in the past for players to get a hearing and not be suspended. Waugh escapes because he's reckless instead of trying to injure there. Apparently this is just reckless and not intent to injure, but what do I know, right? The Department of Player Safety with the dartboard yet again when it comes to figuring out a punishment. And Elliot learned today, also with myself, that no player can be fined more than $5,000 without a hearing there. So let's just take a trip down memory lane when it comes to cross-checks and suspensions. There, we all remember the McDavid and Garland cross-check. McDavid got 3 games, as well as, Tyler Myers for cross-checking Evan Bouchard. So, okay, yeah, stupid part on McDavid's part, to cross-check Connor Garland, although if Connor Garland was a little bit taller, that wouldn't have been in the face there. A Darnell Nurse getting 1 game for cross-checking / punching Quentin Byfield in the back of the head, and you're like, okay, take the oil-covered glasses off here. Okay, Timo Meier with Zach LaRue there with 1 game there, and still that gets 1 game, but this just gets a fine. The Department of Player Safety, once again, getting it incorrect, but it's not too often they do get it correct. Or George Peros, as a former enforcer, you're letting a guy who dropped the gloves, didn't really do a whole lot else on the ice to figure out player punishments. That is the complete wrong way. In fact, the Department of Player Safety has never gotten it right when it comes to choosing a head honcho there. Brendan Shanahan didn't really do a whole lot. Colin Campbell didn't really do a whole lot there. So when it comes to the Department of Player Safety, the bar is very low for getting someone who can actually figure out how to do their job. Nicholas Waugh will be in the Vegas lineup tonight, and there will be some bad blood between him and Trent Frederick there. Hopefully there's no retaliation on Frederick's part. He's a smart enough player, at least I hope so, to do that there. But it's just stupid on the NHL's part to not even send a message to the rest of the league by saying, hey, guess what, cross-checks are fair game now. Cross-check a guy in the face, and all you get is a telephone hearing and a fine there, which will barely hurt the pocket of Nicholas Waugh there. So for the NHL, yeah, I'm not really surprised. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I mean, yeah, nothing new with this National Hockey League in the way they decide to run things there. But I could go on and on about this, but for the Oilers in Knights, Game 3 tonight, a very pivotal Game 3 on both sides. Edmonton going back to Alberta in front of a rabid Oiler crowd there. The Vegas Golden Knights hoping to not go down 3-0 as Oil Country awaits for these two teams in Edmonton tonight on national television. Hockey Night in Canada, a Saturday night. What is better than that? I'll tell you, not a whole lot of things. Oilers Knights, 8 o'clock Central, 7 Mountain in Edmonton, and Stuart Skinner will be starting tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. In the previous video, it was not confirmed, but now it is. He gets the crease tonight for Edmonton. As he says, I've been here before. Nothing's that new to me. It's an opportunity again for me to go into the net and do my job and give these guys a chance to win, as Cal Pickard is day-to-day with a lower body injury there from Jack Michaels. Skinner starts game 3 looking for his 20th career playoff win. Pickard day to day after Tomas Hertl fell on his leg there, and Cal Pickard was on the ice before the rest of the main Oiler group this morning, but he is day to day with an injury there. And Olivier Rodrigue will be backing up Stuart Skinner tonight there, and Kris Knoblauch is not worried at all. He says, fortunately, we've got a great backup option, and when I say backup, he was our starter for all of the year. He's ready to go. We're lucky to have 2 quality goaltenders here, and I mean, if you're skeptical about Stuart Skinner, I mean, at the start I was, and you know, at this point, I've got no choice but to believe, folks. This is oil country. Do we give up when our back's against the wall? Hell no. We fight until the very end. This team is a very hard out to get in the playoffs. And from NHL golden era here, Stuart Skinner last playoffs after being pulled and given another opportunity with a 9-6 record and a save percentage of .912 and a goal saved above expected of .3 away, or .03 I should say, away from 10 goals saved above expected. And then the long awaited question here: does he find his game tonight after a long reset? And well, not just those stats, but also Stuart Skinner against the Vegas Golden Knights in his last 5 games from It's Waz here on Twitter, a 9:20 on February 6th, 2024, a 9:44 April 10, 2024, and then this past season there, November 6th, 2024, 9:12, a 9:38 on December 3rd in a loss against the Vegas Golden Knights. The 9:12 and 9:38 were both in losses there, but still not the worst showings for Stuart Skinner. And then lastly here on December 14th, a 9:29 there, and Cal Pickard got the last start on April 1st against the Vegas Golden Knights in a 3-2 win there. So the last 5, yeah, it goes back to, last season, but you know what, those are favorable stats. I mean, if that's not impressive to you folks, then I don't think anything ever will be there. And that gives me a little hope, a little belief. Sure, the regular season in the playoffs, they're different beasts. We all saw Stuart's going to get annihilated and exposed against the Vegas Golden Knights in his rookie year in the 2023 playoffs. But the playoffs, again, this is a much better Oiler team than in 2023, and who knows what will happen tonight. I'm excited. I mean, there's certainly worse options to put between the pipes for the Oilers there. But again, got no choice but to believe in oil country. This team is what dreams are made of there. From the morning play here from Bob Stauffer, no changes with Draisaitl, McDavid in Perry, Kane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Trent Frederick, Adam Henrique in Connor Brown. I mean, the bottom 6 here, these past few games, even including the second line, just been very energetic for these Oilers. And Podkolzin, Yamark, and Arvidsson, the most impressive out of those 4 lines in Game 2, with Jeff Skinner, Max Jones, Derek Ryan, and Kasperi Kapanen as the extra forwards there. The only changes coming in net there, with Stuart Skinner being the starter, is the defense stays the same there with Nurse Bouchard, Wallman, Klingberg, and Kulak, Emerson, Troy Stetcher as the extra defenseman there. I'm shocked I haven't seen Troy Stetcher in these deep pairings at all. There's Ty Emberson been very sheltered here by Paul Coffey, Kris Knoblauch, and the rest of the Oilers coaching staff here. But Trent Frederick, very excited to be a part of this Oiler team here. Says it's been some of the most fun I've had playing hockey. It's a lot of good guys. It's a calm group. There's no panic in this group. It's pretty cool to be a part of. I mean, no panic. And this team has had 6 straight comeback wins there. That just says a lot about, the leadership in this team, and, the fact that it's not over until it's over. And Evander Kane, speaking about the importance of a home crowd here, says we stole 2 in their building, but it's up to us to take care of home ice. We've done a good job of that this playoff so far. We got to act and have the mentality that it's 0-0, and really that's the mentality to have there. Pretty much, you took 2 games in Vegas. Well, now back to the drawing board here. Vegas is going to, have everything, including the kitchen sink, thrown against the Oilers tonight. And the Oilers' best option is to, just bring themselves back down to ground level here, keep them grounded, and say, okay, it's a brand new series, back to Edmonton. Let's get the job done. And for Vegas tonight, they will be no strangers to having their backs against the wall here, with a lineup that is very scary here, with Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel, and Mark Stone. Pavel Dorofeyev back in the Vegas lineup tonight, one of Vegas' most volatile players here, with Tomas Hertl in Victor Olofsson, with Brett Howden, William Karlsson, in Riley Smith, and then Tanner Pearson, a public enemy number 1 or 2, depends on how you view Tomas Hertl, but Nicholas Waugh in Keegan Colasar there. Really should be Nicholas Waugh out for at least 1 game, but what do I know? And on the back end here, with no Braid McNabb after he was injured on that supposed trip there by Victor Arvidsson in overtime in Game 2. He will be out of the lineup, so Shea Theodore takes his spot next to Alex Pietrangelo, with Noah Hannafin and Zach Whitecloud, and Nicholas Hague in Caden Korzak there with Adin Hill, who has looked very pedestrian in these first two games against the Oilers, with an 8.65 and an 8.57 in the first two games. So the Oilers will have to keep pounding on Adin Hill tonight and sort of give themselves a chance to go up 3-0 in the series, because you never know if Adin Hill's going to flip that switch and revert back to his 2023 days. If so, that would be very scary, but I have faith in the Oilers tonight, and I have faith in Stuart Skinner. I know if you follow the channel for a while, you know my thoughts on Stuart Skinner. When up and down, as Ken Holland said, like a toilet seat, but again, no choice but to believe. If you believe, then really nothing will ever stop you. A scary team is a team that believes in each other and just the ability to get it done when everyone's counting you out. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Nicholas Waugh incident with Trent Frederick. Do you think the fine was, justified? Do you think he should have been suspended 1-2 games? I'm very curious to see what you think in that regard. There in the Oilers lineup tonight, do you think they get the job done tonight? Stuart Skinner, a legacy game. We've been craving this for ages here from Stuart Skinner. We all saw Game 6 against Dallas last year. Hopefully he has another one of those in him tonight, but hopefully the Oilers can put more offense on the board than we saw in Game 6 against Dallas. I'm very curious to see what you all have to say. An important game tonight for the Oilers. They either put the foot down on Vegas, or they allow Vegas to try to get back in this series. But that is it for today's video, folks. Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers. Let's go 3-0 in the series on a Saturday night. Everyone's watching. The Terror Dome, as they call Rogers Place now for some reason, will be bumping, will be rocking. All those orange towels will be in the air. Take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday, folks. Let's go Oilers.